Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. So today I'm recording a video about culture shocks that I experienced in South Africa. And I think I had experienced quite a few shocks in South Africa because I went into the country with some perceptions. And to my surprise, all my perceptions were crushed. So this is part 2 video and I'll link part 1 so that you guys can also go check that one out. So the first shock I'd experienced in South Africa is the Amapianos that they play in the club. So I think because Amapiano is already a big thing now, and I'm from Africa, so like I know a lot of Amapiano songs, and I was excited about the idea of being in South Africa and jamming to Amapiano songs with the locals. You know, like I had a whole picture in my head. And then this one night we went to like a local club, Cubana, with a friend of mine who is a local. So I was like, this is the day, you know, only for me to get in the club. And I only knew 2 songs, like 2 Amapiano songs. Like the rest of the Amapiano songs that they played and the people were hyping to, I had never heard of them. Maybe this is just me being an outsider in that situation, but I had assumed like the locals would also be like playing only the trending Amapiano songs that we all hear, like the rest of the world. But apparently the category is just so extensive that they have more of their own jammings that they're jamming to that the rest of us don't know. Like I felt so left out, you know. But anyway, I think that is to say I was surprised that there is like more good songs in the genre that we don't know about as in the rest of the world. So the second shock I experienced in South Africa is when I tried the dried meat, biltong. I think it's because I had like a lot of good things about biltong, so I also had a lot of expectations. And then when I tried it, it just flopped. Like I didn't like it. I even ended up throwing the bag that I had because it didn't click. And I think it's because I don't know what I was expecting in my head, but I was like okay, it's not it. But because I had a lot of good things about biltong, like a part of me still wants to try it, but then I don't know if there are like any tricks, or maybe I bought the wrong bag, or maybe there's like some brands that are good than others. Please let me know in the comments if there's a way to sort of like try biltong the right way. Maybe I just tried it the wrong way, but I think the shock that I had was just like I expected to love it, and then when I tried it, I was like, no, I didn't like it at all. So let me know in the comments if there's any tricks or something sort of like love biltong, because I love the enthusiasm that people have when they speak about it. And I think there's something in it that I'm missing. So I want to know that thing, guys. The third shock I'd experienced is how modernized the Uber drivers are. Coming from an African country, I mean, like, I was shocked. And the exact thing that shocked me is because in my country, in Tanzania, like Uber drivers would cancel you just because you had kept card as your mode of payment. Like they just don't want the card payments. They want cash. So it's either you switch to cash payments or they're going to cancel your order. So I had the mentality that Uber drivers prefer cash payments. So I never really like had card payment option in my Ubers unless I'm taking like a business trip. And then I went to South Africa. So I was operating the same manner. Like I'll just pay the drivers in cash. And then an Uber driver actually recommended me to switch to card because card payments are easier. I was like, how does this driver recommend me to switch to card? I thought drivers cancel when you have card. And then I had the same experience in Zambia and Zimbabwe. Like the tax drivers preferred cash payments than card payments. So I thought that was sort of like all over Africa. Like drivers just prefer cash payments than card. But in South Africa, it was different. And that shocked me. The fourth culture shock that I experienced in South Africa is how these people take serious Sundays as beach days. I mean, like, I'm not sure if this is throughout the year, but I was there between like end of December to January, like that during that holiday season. And Sundays were literally beach days. Like everyone was on the beach. So I was staying at Greenpoint and I realized there were a lot of traffic on Sundays. And then every Uber driver that should ask, why is there like so much traffic today? And it's a weekend because in my country, Tanzania, usually Sundays are very like, there's no traffic on the weekend because everyone just stays at home. But there was different. And then the comment that I always got was that like Sundays are beach days. So everyone is on like this sides of the city. So I was sort of like shocked and surprised in a way because like we do have a lot of beaches in Tanzania, but we don't take Sundays as beach days that serious. And I had this feeling that South Africans take Sundays as beach day very seriously. So I was sort of like impressed, I'd say, but also shocked. Another culture shock I'd experienced in South Africa is how big the rugby matches can be. It was literally a festival. So during my stay there was a match between the Stormers, I think, and the Sharks. And the streets were crazy. I was like, oh my God, this feels so much like a festival than a match day. So I was sort of like impressed, but in a shocked way, because I never expected for rugby match days to be that big of a thing than what I saw in my eyes. Like I've always known like South Africans are big on rugby because they've won like a lot of championships, but I just didn't expect that much enthusiasm on like a local match day. So that was also like a shocker. Let me know in the comments down below which of the rugby team are you rooting for and what was your best match day, because the experience that I had was just so nice. It felt so much like a festival, you know. I'm not even like a rugby fan, but I like the whole celebrations because it felt more like a festival than a match day. So number 6 was less of a shocker, but it was something which I think is less addressed. And it's the currency differences. Like, yes, currency exchange exists and the differences are there, but I think it's the mental switch that is less spoken about. Like coming from a country which has like, our money is very here, like compared to rands. And I had struggled sort of like mentally convince myself that 500 rands is a lot of money, because from my country, 500 only gets you a bottle of water. So like the mental switch when it comes to currencies, like I feel like it's not spoken about so much, because like I barely get the pinch when I'm paying like 500 rands, because the ideology I have in my head of 500 is not the worth of 500 rands, you know. Out of curiosity, I'm actually very curious to hear from others if you struggle with the mental exchange of money, like not the actual exchange of money, because the actual exchange is known, but it's just like the mental processing of the thought, like figures. Let's say if you're used to see 500 as a small figure, and then you go to a country where 500 is not a small figure, but in your head it's still a small figure because where you're from is a small figure. Like, do you guys also struggle with that? Because like I had convinced myself a lot of times that 500 is a lot of money, because in my head it was not a lot of money. Let me know in the comments down below how you always like handle that, especially the mental struggle of processing the currency exchange rates. The 7th culture shock I experienced is how much tipping culture very much exists in South Africa. And I think I just did not expect the tipping culture to sort of like be there very much existent. I'm very much used like to have it sort of like a voluntary thing to do, but not it to be expected out of you. And I felt like in South Africa, at least the places that I went to, tipping was sort of like expected of you, because they would even ask you how much they should add for tipping when billing you. It'll be very interesting to hear from others, like what are the culture shocks that experience in South Africa, to see like how differences are shaping us and bringing us together. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on my channel. And that's it for this video, guys. Until next time, ciao, ciao.